national security. Hold on, please. My brother, this is a national security issue.
Yes.
There is a war on. You want to pretend there's no war. There's a war on.
I'm only saying there are
a lot of you journalists are part of the problem. You don't want to address the truth. There's a war on. Why are you saying you're not pretending? There's a war on. People are being killed everywhere. You're saying there's no war. What do you mean you're not pretending? You are. You are part of the problem in this country. Buhari set up protocols in which those who work with the state are in collusion with these terrorists, and representing our security services, I believe, have been Afghanistan. It will be one Fulani after the other, and as you see, the Fulani is killing people across the country. Why? They want to appropriate the country.
Be careful of the use of words.
Allow me to use my words, please.
Yeah, no, I'm saying this is a national
you might be very careful.
And there are good people.
I am speaking about national security. Hold on, please. My brother, this is a national security issue.
Yes.
There is a war on. You want to pretend there's no war. There's a war on.
I'm only saying there are
a lot of you journalists are part of the problem. You don't want to address the truth. There's a war on. Why are you saying you're not pretending? There's a war on. People are being killed everywhere. You're saying there's no war. What do you mean you're not pretending? You are. You are part of the problem in this country. Allow us to speak the truth so that people will know what's going on. There's a war on. People in the Benue cannot go to farm. People in Plateau cannot stay in their houses. People in Taraba can't. Everywhere there's a war. And you're telling me that we should keep quiet? No.
I told him that we're on top of our game. We're working extremely very hard. What has happened of recent is that there's a global push by terrorists and jihadists all over the Sahel area, and that pressure is what actually came into Nigeria because of the nature of our borders. And so we have, Mr. President has given directives as to what to do next for us to intensify all efforts, collaborate with all our sister countries around, because it is the porous nature that is coming there that is actually aggravating our own issues on ground. And so all our theaters have been enhanced, equipments have been bought. Mr. President has also given us more.
You know, the narrative was pushed all over the world, you know, that it was the agitators of their freedom that was the cause of all the insecurities in Nigeria. You know, they pushed the narrative that it was nothing, it's only the agitators that are causing all the mayhem in Nigeria. You know, they pushed that narrative. Bam, all of a sudden, one of the governors came out and said that it was not actually the agitators of their freedom, but rather the politicians themselves. Yes, they are the one buying people in his land. They are the one buying his own political party members. He even narrated everything that you heard, those that they have what? They have unalived. And now, you also heard Christopher Musa, telling us now that it was actually the porosities of the borders that is causing the insecurities in the land, and no more the agitators, based on the way he has already told all over the world, everywhere he traveled, that it was the agitators. Now it's no longer agitators, but the word porosities of the border. Maybe he think that, Nigerians, some of us does not have brain anymore, to remember the past. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think? Because we have a lot of clips to show us. Please do well to like and share and subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much as you do that to be getting my updates. Let's continue watching, a lot of clips, very interesting clips. Yes, let's continue watching as we listen to our brother Marcelo Kocha that has a lot, telling the world. Let's continue watching and see my next update. Bye for now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Today is Thursday, 22nd day of May 2025. This is the late hour of the day, so a lot of people might see this video on Friday being 23rd. But I think the most important thing is the information you are going to get anytime you see this video. Now, I think the secret war has been intensified. The secret war is going on, and I'm going to explain to you in details about the secret war is going on as Nnamdi Kanu eyes freedom. The secret war that is going on, especially in the southern part of the country, is so important and is so crucial. Now, for some security reasons, the information I have here, I'm not going to mention the name of villages. A lot of people have resolved to self-help. There is no doubt about that, because of the secret war that is going on in Nigeria. We are at war. Don't let anybody to deceive you. what you are hearing in Benue State and Plateau State, if not people from the southern Nigeria preventing it, it could have been worse in their territory. Now, a community people, I don't know what they did, but 21 terrorists mysteriously died in the bush. 21 terrorists mysteriously died in the bush. Warfare these days is beyond gun. It's beyond shoot me, I shoot you. They have pushed a lot of people to go beyond the battle of gun. So these 21 persons, according to this information that allegedly died in the bush, the story ends there. Okay? Now, it's a lesson to people who think that they own the land, that they can invade any community and come and kill the people and go away with it. That period is coming to an end. In another community, these people, the kidnappers, the sincere of people, they demanded that they should bring food for them. And normally, these people, they ask you to test the food most of the time you bring it. I don't know what transpired, how these people did it, but they poisoned them. And about 7 persons died the following day after eating the food. As I said before, the time where you use only, bullets to fight war is already past. So, if you think that you can go to people's villages to do whatever you like, I think the time is coming to an end, because the people are beginning to rise to the occasions. They have seen that no any other person that will save you. The only person that rose against all these things right from time was Nnamdi Kanu. And that is the reason why they put him where he is today. And that will bring me quickly to just touch a few things that transpired in court today. A lot of you must have, gotten the information about what transpired. But you see these 3 videos we're about to watch. One is about Hope Uzodinma telling them that it's not IPOB that are responsible for the death in my state. Hope Uzodinma have said this more than 3 times, and I have the videos. And this one they played in court is crucial, because the DSS mass witness was telling them that Hope Uzodinma said it was IPOB that killed someone that died. But he lied against Hope Uzodinma, and this is what Hope Uzodinma said.
If anybody tells you that IPOB is the one killing people in Oluzon, it is not correct. Wicked politicians are sponsoring the killings in Olo. Last week in Oberuru, the APC ward chairman was killed in his house. The APC secretary was killed in his house. APC woman leader was killed in his house. I have cross-checked since the inception of this banditry. Not one PDP man has died.
Now, in another video, if you have been following me, you must have seen this video more than 10 times. Before all this issue of court case, arrived, I have been, publishing all these videos of T.Y. Danjuma, of all these people, where they are calling on people to bear arms to defend themselves, because the armed forces are not neutral.
Forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
There are a lot of things going on, okay? And another video again about the DSS director. I also published the video, you must have seen it on my channel as well, where he's calling for people to carry arms to defend themselves. And he cited a community that gather arms to defend themselves and kill Boko Haram. And that was the counter, question that was put against the DSS witness. Is it not the same thing Nnamdi Kanu was saying? So why were you people choosing who to try and who not to try?
Is that we should not make this another talk show. And that's why this is my intervention. That security starts from you. There is nothing that is new. 1870 something, I can't remember. The French Revolution, in the street of Paris, they were beheading people. We've had hijack of plane. We'll forget quickly. We've had the wet here syndrome, we had so many. There's no Metasini and whatever. There will always be security problem. So when I hear people say this is security in Nigeria, as long as human beings exist, there will be security problem. The issue is the response. We have to take that mentality away. What is the security agencies doing? Who, apart from a tree, knows that they want to come and cut him and remain standing? Only a tree. We have to get the communities to rise and defend themselves first. And the time to start it is now. When you move out from here, I do that every day. I come from a village in Ijebu land, Ogun State, and I talk to my people. I know the level of armament they are entitled to. I know how they organize themselves in quarters. We have 4 quarters. I am using my expertise to guide them. You cannot wait for the military to come and do everything.
Nuhu Ribadu is the National Security Advisor, and he's making one of the greatest mistakes. Because you cannot cherry pick someone who asks for self-defense. You people keep him in detention, continue. You inherited the trial, and you think that you can continue to keep the person because the person is standing against people who are invading people's home and so on and so forth. So these 3 videos you just watch, I think they passed a lot of messages to people that look at. This is not what it is. Nnamdi Kanu, they told you lies about him before. A lot of people don't even know what Nnamdi Kanu stands for because the Nigerian media project Nnamdi Kanu to be whom he is not. That is the problem we are having there. So that is apart. Let us focus on another issue.
I know there's a failure of our security architecture to actually tailor and prepare what I would call an intelligent response to the current insecurity across the country. They might end up having us, resort to self-help. I know I have seen in several communities, people are now designing their own self-help strategies. And I even read some yesterday advising people, whatever you do, don't tell anybody, because when you speak, because of members of the state probably in complicit, collusion, as General Danjuma stated. It's not everybody that works for the Nigerian state that are today in collusion. But because of Buhari's set of protocols in which those who work with the state are in collusion with these terrorists, and President Tinubu had not been able to weed those people out, it becomes a problem trusting them. And that's why I can understand his sudden attempt to now resort to a new body called the Forest Guards. They may not be infiltrated, and that they may be able to build something that has not yet been Afghanistan. Our security services, I believe, have been Afghanistan. The Afghanistanization of the security services simply means the infiltration of our security services of those evil people, the terrorists, just the same way Buhari ran what he called a de-radicalization policy, which now got him to infuse members of the terrorist movement into the security services, primarily the army. And what did you have? Suddenly, these people infused and are the ones providing intelligence to those who didn't get converted, through the radicalization problem. So we have a problem. There is not a proper stating of priorities of state by departments of state, in this case, the Department of State Security. What they are going after is not the proper thing to do. They should be gathering intelligence to tell the army or the police who to go and hold or to take away from the space so that we can have peace. They're not doing that. The crisis is still sustaining all across the country. People are being killed, and these militias are killing people everywhere, and nobody's doing a thing. So for me, the state is still very much asleep and sleeping right on the wheels. It is wrong to have allowed Atiku to succeed Buhari. It will be one Fulani after the other, and as you see, the Fulanis killing people across the country. Why? They want to appropriate the country.
Be careful of the use of words. When you generalize.
Allow me to use my words, please.
Yeah,
Let
no,
me
I'm
use
saying
the words I
this is
beg
a
you.
national
You might be very
television.
careful.
And there are good people in
I am
every
speaking
tribe.
about
That's what I'm saying.
national security. Hold on, please. My brother, this is a national security issue.
Yes.
There is a war on. You want to pretend there's no war. There's
I'm
a
not
war
pretending.
on.
I'm only saying there are
A lot
good
of
people
you
in every
journalists are
tribe.
part of the problem. You don't want to address the truth. There's a war on. Why are you saying you're not pretending? There's a war on. People are being killed everywhere. You're saying there's no war. What do you mean you're not pretending? You are. You are part of the problem in this country. Allow us to speak the truth so that people will know what's going on. There's a war on. People in the Benue cannot go to farm. People in Plateau cannot stay in their houses. People in Taraba can't. Everywhere there's a war, and you're telling me that we should keep quiet? No, there's a problem. So those who are responsible for the war simply want to turn Nigeria into a settler colonial entity, and that's what's going on. You don't see that. You're seeing the politics. Forget about the politics. There is a real problem in the country. People are not sleeping at night. People, even in daytime, our farmers cannot go to farms. We now have food security problems. Why? The Fulani war across West Africa has finally bettered in Nigeria. And you don't want me to talk about it. Why? Who are you afraid of? Who will hear it and we will die? This is the problem. The country has gone wrong. Because a lot of you keep quiet. I'm aware of this. So please, when we have a problem like this serious national security issue, we must speak to it and not pretend it doesn't exist. It does exist.
AIG, there are not a few who believe that the pace at which the Interpol International and Interpol Nigeria are working is quite interesting. They point to the fact that Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed group, IPOB, it didn't take long for them to grab him from the same Kenya and get him down to Nigeria, and he's facing justice now. That's why is this like a case of we're following process, diplomatic channels, etc., etc.
Believe me, I want to tell you I don't know what you are talking about. All I know...
You seems not to know exactly what we are talking about here.
No. You are bringing an issue that Interpol is not aware of. You know, let me define the role of Interpol so that you can understand. Interpol is an international police organization that assists law enforcement agencies within the 196 countries to look for a fugitive that runs or is hiding. And if you look at all the other fugitives that are brought to face justice in Nigeria, they have the link, those who are involved with Interpol. So I don't know I don't want to talk about issue of Kanu, who brought him back to Nigeria. I'm not aware how he was brought back to Nigeria or how he came into Nigeria. Interpol is not aware. We stated this long time ago, and we made it categorically clear. So it's not a question. There are what we call police-to-police relationships, international police cooperation. Another police, it does not necessarily bring Interpol. If one police and another exchange a suspect is running from them, they can have an international police cooperation that out of the scope of Interpol. But however, if a notice is given to an individual, like blue notices, when the inmates in Kuje prison escaped, we did a biometric capture of those suspects, and we shared it with international communities. We shared it with our law enforcement agencies.